What if I told you that Keir Starmer's golden streak of luck may have finally snapped? Once hailed as the lucky general, the man who seemed to rise on the ruins of Boris Johnson and Liz Truss, Starmer now finds himself trapped in a storm of scandals, betrayals, and political ghosts from Labour's past. But is this simply another hoo-ha, as Tony Blair once called the chaos of politics, or is it the beginning of the end for Starmer's iron grip on power? Before we dive into the shadows of Westminster and uncover the truth behind Labour's unraveling, make sure you subscribe to Echo Britain and hit that bell icon, because what we reveal here, you won't hear in the mainstream. And don't forget, I want to hear your voice in the comments. Is Keir Starmer truly out of luck, or is this just another passing storm? It began almost like a cruel twist of fate. The man who once seemed untouchable, who rode the collapse of Boris Johnson's empire and the disaster of Liz Truss's premiership, now stands battered by forces both within and outside his party. The cracks began with a name Starmer defended fiercely, Angela Rayner. His deputy, once seen as his fiercest rival and closest ally, was caught in the web of a scandal. A seaside flat, stamp duty avoided, or so it seemed. At first, she denied the whispers. But soon, the truth emerged: Rayner had paid less tax than she should. Starmer moved quickly, reshuffling his cabinet in an attempt to smother the flames. He even managed to drown out much of the noise surrounding Nigel Farage's annual conference. But the stench of hypocrisy lingered. For a man who built his image on integrity, his government now looked not just flawed, but sanctimonious. In Parliament, he pointed to Rayner's resignation as proof of Labour's higher standards, drawing a sharp contrast with Boris Johnson, who once shielded Priti Patel. Yet, to the average voter, the lesson was simpler: they're all the same. And Rayner's departure opened the gates to a new battle, the contest for Labour's deputy leadership. Lucy Powell, freshly sacked and now beating the drum for Andy Burnham, the King of the North. One rival replaced by another. One shadow gone, only for a larger one to loom over Starmer's throne. But Westminster crises never come alone. Like London buses, they arrive in packs, and often trapped in the same gridlock. Labour had promised to tame the unions, to bring peace where the Tories had failed. Doctors' strikes ended, only to flare up again. And then the tube strike returned, leaving the capital in chaos. As if the political fires weren't enough, Starmer was dealt another devastating blow. His man in Washington, Peter Mandelson, a Labour heavyweight, was forced out, just a day after Starmer swore his confidence in him. The reason? Mandelson's friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, a toxic name that now hovers over Donald Trump's upcoming state visit. The timing could not have been worse. It all recalls the words of Alastair Campbell, Tony Blair's spin doctor, that nearly every week in government felt like Blair's worst week. Yet Campbell later admitted, many of those so-called scandals faded into dust. The difference? Blair had momentum, a booming economy, and a vision of reform. Starmer has none of that. He stares down a looming budget, just 10 weeks away, with a black hole in the nation's finances. He faces the endless small boats crisis that refuses to fade. And without solutions, without luck, every hoo-ha risks becoming another nail in his political coffin. So, has Keir Starmer's genie finally deserted him? Is this the curse of a government that rose too high, too fast, and now begins its long fall? Or is this just politics as usual, the storm before calm? One thing is certain: Westminster is restless, Labour is fracturing, and Starmer's once charmed leadership now hangs by a thread. But what do you think? Is Starmer still the lucky general, or has his luck finally run out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this story isn't ending here, it's only just beginning. And remember, if you want the truth behind Britain's political chaos, subscribe now to Echo Britain, your voice, your news, your future.